Hey y'all, I'm Abby, More Than Just Skin, and welcome back to my channel, or if this is your first time here, welcome. I'm so glad you took some time out of your day to spend a little bit of time here with me. So today's video is continuing on my collection series. These are my single eyeshadows, and when I say single eyeshadows, I mean singles. You can see them here in my Z palette. I have single creams, I have single stick eyeshadows, I have pigments, the Stila Glitter Glows, ColourPop, just everything. I also included in this one my eyeshadow primers as well, so you can see those. So if you're interested in seeing my single eyeshadows, then hit that subscribe button and keep watching. Okay, so I'm starting with my eyeshadow primers, and I have four. The first one is my favorite. It is the e.l.f. eyeshadow primer. It comes with a doe foot applicator. It retails for $2, and I really don't think you can go wrong with this one. It is by far my favorite. Next up, this I got free with a Lorac palette. It is the Lorac Behind the Scenes Eye Primer. I do enjoy using this one as well. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus. This is my least favorite, and when I do a declutter, I will probably get rid of this. I find it too stiff and it's hard to work in. It kind of just looks like a mess on my eyes. And I like the Milani eyeshadow primer. I think it's very good. If you hear some pitter patter at little feet, Finley is just kind of all over the place today. First, I have some higher end eyeshadows. I am going to start with Chanel. This one is so incredibly old. I'm embarrassed to tell y'all how old it is, and I don't think they still sell it. It is called Nightlight Bronze, and even the packaging is not in the best shape, but it still does not smell bad. And let me take my watch off. And it is just this beautiful kind of cooler toned, let me get in there, cooler toned, bronzy brown chocolatey with a shimmer. Does that make sense? So that is Chanel. The next Chanel item that I have is one of my favorite eyeshadows. It is in the shade Fauve, and it looks like that, and swatched, it looks like that. I think it's a beautiful shade. It can be worn all over the lid and then kind of buffed out into the crease. That's the way I like to do it, but it is a cooler toned, and that is Fauve by Chanel. I have two of the NARS. These are the dual, I think they're called dual intensity. Yes, dual intensity. This one is in the shade Dion, and it is just a very, to me, wearable kind of taupey silver shade, and it looks like that swatch. It is gorgeous. I too like to put it all over the lid and then kind of buff it out into the crease. The other NARS dual intensity that I have is Telesto, and it is definitely more of a bronzy shade, and you can see it right there. Highly pigmented, perfect bronze. This is absolutely perfect if you're looking for a summery bronze look. Next up on the higher end spectrum is a single by Tom Ford. This is in the shade Iris Bronze. This color is absolutely positively gorgeous. These are so buttery soft, creamy. Feels great on the skin. It's just a little bit lighter than this Chanel up here, but it is gorgeous. I like to wear this in the crease and put a little bit down on the lid. It is gorgeous, but it does have a slight sheen to it, but it's just a gorgeous shade. I have three, as you can see, Burberry shadows. The first one is, what is this? Pale Barley, and this is probably their most famous. I've hit pan on this. This is just a staple. I think it looks, you can see it's just kind of a cooler toned neutral that you can put all over the lid and kind of blend out in the crease, or you can blend it into the crease. It is just gorgeous. I like to also wear this on my lower lash line. It can be a one-stop shop. You can kind of build it up, or you can then go in with this shade, Taupe Brown, and kind of deepen it up some. This is a much darker shade. It is a matte shade, but you can see how creamy it is, and the two complement each other really, really nicely. The other Burberry shade that I have is Almond, and it looks like this. It's similar to pale barley, but it doesn't have that shimmer and it's a little bit deeper. So you can see it right there. It is gorgeous, and that is in the shade Almond. So let's get the stick shadows out of the way. A lot of these I like to wear kind of as my base coat for my eyeshadows. So some of the ones I like to do for that are these nude sticks. This is in the shade Terra. When I'm doing kind of a warmer look, I like to put that on my lid and kind of buff it all over my eye. I think it is a gorgeous base for some warmer toned looks. Another one that I like to do that is by Nude Sticks as well, and this is called Taupe. This is more if I'm doing more of a cooler toned look. I like to do that. And then I have a few that have some shimmer. This one is called Burnished. And as you can see, it's gorgeous, but it's just got a little bit of shimmer to it. I have Nudity, which is the lightest one out of those. And you can do the same thing with that. And then the last one I have is Smoke. And I don't think I've used Smoke at all. No, but that will be gorgeous on a smoky eye. It's kind of a cooler toned. I have this LOC one, and it is called Rock Steady. It is kind of a similar, it looks very similar to Smoke. Actually, it looks almost identical. I probably, when I do a declutter, will get rid of one of those. But it's also great if you are doing a smoky eye. This one by, this is a caviar stick by Laura Mercier in the shade Amethyst. This one is one of my favorites. I like to wear this along with that Chanel color and this is on its last leg, that Chanel color that I showed you earlier in Fauve. Pairing those two together are absolutely gorgeous. This Burnished Bronze is gorgeous to pair with that Iris Bronze that I had by Tom Ford. This is one of my all-time favorites. You can build it up this dark, or you can also take your finger and it really smears out and buffs out beautifully, and it looks gorgeous on the lid. Another good base for eyeshadow is this Laura Mercier Caviar Stick in Caramel. It's one of the matte ones. You can see it just lays down a really good solid neutral brown. It's good to build any eyeshadow on top of that. And then the last one I have by Laura Mercier is in the shade Cocoa. And it is much deeper. This is if you are wanting a smoky look and you put that all over your lid, buff it out, and it really gives you a nice dark base to work with. I have one Charlotte Tilbury Color Chameleon, and this is in the shade Amber Haze. I think it is gorgeous. And actually, I have another Charlotte one. I've got to go find it. But see how pretty that is? It gives you such a pretty bronze with a great shimmer to it. I have this Trish McAvoy. I think Trish McAvoy does these sticks very well. This is a 24-hour shadow and liner in the shade Topaz. This one is gorgeous. This is one of my go-tos, and when I run out, I will definitely be repurchasing it. To me, it's just an absolute perfect shade to wear alone. You can buff it in. You can add something to it. It can be your base. And then this one is in Crystal Gray. This is great if you are wanting a cooler tone, kind of smoky look. And now I'm going to look for my Charlotte Tilbury one that I'm missing. So I knew I had another one of these Color Chameleons by Charlotte Tilbury. This is in the shade Black Diamond. And it looks very similar to the gray, except it is more of a true black where that has more of a cooler tone. But those are very similar, and the shimmer on this is just gorgeous. This is great for a night out, for holiday. I purchased it for holiday, and I think it's gorgeous. But those are my stick eyeshadows, and I love them all. Okay, next up is cream eyeshadows. Now this is a eyeshadow base by NYX. It looks kind of like Skin. This really should have been listed with the primers, but I actually forgot about it. But this is a perfect base for your eyeshadow. Another base that I like to use are these paint pots, and I have the shade Painterly, which is just a pretty nude shade. I also have Bare Study, which has a glistening sheen to it. It's really, really gorgeous. You can see it right there. And then I have the shade Groundwork, which is separating from the side because it's a little old and it's getting dry and it probably needs to be thrown out, but it's just kind of a good basic color for your eyes. Next up, I have two Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize. The first one is in Marie Antoinette. This one is newer to me. These are so moussey creamy. They feel great. This is kind of a cooler taupe-ish type shade. It has some sheen to it. And then I have Bet. Bet is warmer. It's definitely bronzier, but it is just like this golden coppery tone, and it is gorgeous. These apply so well. I find that they do not crease. I like to just dab them with my finger on my eye. Sometimes I buff them out with a brush into the crease, but they are just absolutely gorgeous, and I think they wear very well. I have one cream shadow from Chanel, and this is in the shade New Moon. This is such an interesting texture. It's hard to even really describe, but it is so gorgeous. It is so glittery, and it's just very pretty to put a wash of that over the lid. I've actually had that in the back of my drawer, and I think after swatching it, I'm moving it to the front because I think it would be gorgeous to an addition to any eye look that's a little bit more on the cool side. I also have a Bobbi Brown. This is Velvet Plum Longwear Cream Eyeshadow. This is a color that I got because I heard that this is like Victoria Beckham's go-to, and I find it so pretty. It's a little bit darker, but it has a really pretty plummy sheen, and it's just a gorgeous cream eyeshadow. I guess you consider these next two. These are the Glazen eye glosses by Butter London. I have two shades. The first one is in the color Icing. It is definitely on the pinkier side, but these are very interesting. They're kind of whipped light, and it's just so gorgeous. I wear this one a lot on my lid. It's right there. And then this next one is Oil Slick. I don't find myself, this is the first one I bought because I thought it was such an interesting color, but I don't find myself reaching for it as much. But it has that duochrome effect that goes a little purple and a little green, and it is just really a very unique color. But these I find are very interesting, but they are very wearable, and I think they're really, really pretty. I have a few loose pigments. I'm trying to get some of these out of the way so y'all can see. I have one by Makeup Geek. This is in Birthday Wish. Y'all, I never ever reach for these, but I do want to show you kind of what it looks like. I just find pigments are a little bit difficult, but it is gorgeous. If you see it right there, that is the pigment. I'm not going to open the MAC ones, but I have Lithe Deep Brown. What is this one? English Gilt. And I think I bought those in a set a couple of years ago, and I just never reached for them. This is gorgeous. I reach for this more because I find it a little bit more user-friendly because of the packaging, but I use pressed pigments more than I do loose pigments. So I just think for my lifestyle, they're just not really the smartest thing for me to use. I have a few of the Stila sticks. I have one of the Glitter and Glow, and it is in the shade Kitten Karma. This is gorgeous. I kind of do want some more of these, but I don't find myself wearing glitter like this on the daily. My job, you really don't want to put a lot of glitter on your eyes, so this is something that I reserve for nighttime, and I really think one is probably enough for me to have. I do have the Shimmer and Glow. I have 3 of them. The first one I have here is Cloud. It is kind of a taupey, cooler toned color. I love this one. I wore this a lot in the winter time. I also have the shade Jezebel, which I wear a lot this time of year. It is a more kind of rosy gold coppery color. I think it is gorgeous, and I find that these are very wearable. And then I also have Kitten, gotta have Kitten. This one is just a beautiful champagne-y color, and I really enjoy wearing all of those. But this up here is stunning, and the more I look at it, the more I really want some more. So I may look into that. I have a kind of shimmer and glow stick. This is the Molten Liquid Eyeshadow in the shade Rose Gold by e.l.f. And this is what it looks like. It is definitely not as creamy as the Stila ones, but it's kind of like these two mix. So I really do like that color. I have it on my eyes today, although you can't see it, but I think it's really pretty, and for the price, you really can't beat it. I have two of the Tarte Chrome Paint. I have the shade Sun Drenched and Froze, and I think that these are stunning. You just dip your finger in it like that, and it goes on like that. You put it on with your finger, and this is the color Froze, and I just don't know of a better shade to put all over your lid for the summertime. I think it is gorgeous. This one is in the shade Sun Drenched, and this is a little more gold, but it too is gorgeous, and I really don't see how you can go wrong wearing either one of these in the summertime. In a Bare Minerals sale, I recently picked up two of the 5-in-1. These are the BB Advanced Performance Cream Eyeshadow Broad Spectrum SPF 15. These are kind of a base. I got soft linen and soft shell. I love putting these on first. These are kind of like a primer, and then putting my eyeshadow look on top of these. So these are absolutely wonderful. So before I start in on my Z palette, oh, here's one more. I want to show my single shadows. I have two of the L'Oreal Infallible eyeshadows. This one is in, of course, Amber Rush. You can see I have used almost all of this. I think everyone needs this in their collection. Look how pretty that is. I think it is stunning. I think that it really rivals some higher end eyeshadows. I also have it in Ice Latte, which I really enjoyed this as well. It is just the perfect champagne color to put on your lid. I have a couple of ColourPop Super Shop shadows. This is in Puppy Love. I think that this is such a fun color, and I really should wear it more, but it's kind of just like that perfect, but it's kind of got like a little bit of a duochrome to it, but it is like a pretty champagne. And then this is in the color Ritz, which is so pretty and so sparkly and just gorgeous to top on another eyeshadow and just get that kind of like wet look without your eyes. You kind of get that gloss look, like that glazing look on your eyelids without them actually being wet when you use that. So that is in the shade Ritz. This is a MAC eyeshadow in the color Wedge. I like to use this to contour, y'all, as well as an eyeshadow. I think it is a perfect contour shade. You can see right there. It is just gorgeous. It's very cool tone, and if you don't want to go out and get a contour color that is a little more expensive, you can pick up Wedge by MAC, and it is the cost of an eyeshadow. I'm not sure how much the eyeshadows cost, but I know they're not that bad. This is a Makeup Forever eyeshadow, and the number is 7001. I got this as a sample or a gift or something with Sephora, and I don't think I've ever used it. You can see the packaging is not the greatest. It's this little plastic thing, but I was really drawn to this color, and oh yeah, it's really creamy. I've never used, oh that's pretty, y'all. I've never used any shadows by Makeup Forever, but I am looking forward to trying that one out. I think I better put that where I can get to it. One of my all-time favorite eyeshadows, and it's very hard to find here in the States, is Rimmel London Millionaire. This is gorgeous. This is definitely a Pixie Woo's made me do it. It's kind of the perfect cooler toned eyeshadow. I just find it so pretty, so wearable. It's just a beautiful shade right there. This is a Sephora in the color Sandcastle. When I just need a single matte ivory shade, this is what I reach for. This is a Laura Mercier, what is this called? A baked eye color in Black Carrot. Now this is something that I wore a lot. You can wet it or you don't have to. And that is how it looks. But isn't that gorgeous for nighttime, for holiday? It is that warmer tone black with gold undertone. I think that's really, really pretty. This is by the brand, what is this brand? By Prestige. And this is the color Long, Hocus Pocus. And it is just one of those duochrome colors that I just think is gorgeous. I never reach for it, but I have a couple of these. I have this, I have that oil slick, and you can tell that I want to reach for it. So if I ever decide to get bold, I will wear this. I think this is prettier to me in the fall. I have a very old Bobbi Brown eyeshadow in the shade Gunmetal. I never reach for this and I need to throw it out, but it is just a very dark kind of shimmery gray. And then last, before I get to my palette, is Half Baked by Urban Decay, and this is just the perfect gold shade. I mean, if you want a gold eyeshadow, here it is. That's the one you need. And I think I got this free because I know I have this in one of my Urban Decay palettes, but I think I received it as a point perk or something, but it is absolutely the perfect gold shade. Moving on to my Z palette. Now in here are Makeup Geek, MAC, and Anastasia Beverly Hills. So I am going to start up here and go through and tell you the names. And I'm not going to swatch this because this is just kind of the perfect brow bone. This is Brulee by MAC. It is just something that you can put all over your eye. I like to put it all over my eyelid to set my primer or anything I have as a base. This is Shimma Shimma by Makeup Geek. These Makeup Geeks are so creamy. This is if you need a shimmer highlight. That is what you will use that for. This next one looks like a hot mess, but it is In the Spotlight. Let's see. Right here, In the Spotlight by Makeup Geek. It is, what is this? This is a foiled eyeshadow. Put it right there, but it's such a pretty kind of rose gold pinky color. All right, next up, this next one is by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and it is the color Rosé. And there, it's how it looks. It is stunning. Next up, I have Anastasia Beverly Hills Pink Champagne. This feels not quite as creamy. It feels a little more glittery, and you can see it does look like it has more sheen to it. Next up, this is Glamorous by Makeup Geek. And it's kind of a goldish, bronzy color. And then I have Amber by Anastasia Beverly Hills. And it is just a really pretty amber bronzy color. Continuing on the next row, this one I know is by Makeup Geek, and it is in the shade Cosmopolitan. It feels so good. Look how pretty that is. Gorgeous. Next up, I believe this is Flamethrower by Makeup Geek, and that is just a gorgeous copper. This is by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and it is the shade Macaroon. Ooh, isn't that pretty? I don't know why I gravitated towards that. Sorry, trying to get it down there. That's it right there. It's not really me, but hey, what do you know? This next one is Belize by Anastasia Beverly Hills. And that's it right there. Gorgeous, gorgeous color. Next up is Goddess by Makeup Geek. And that is it right there. This color is gorgeous in the crease. Of course, it is Soft Brown by MAC. It is just kind of a go-to crease shade. Another go-to crease shade by Anastasia Beverly Hills is Birkin, right there. You really can't go wrong with either one of those in your crease. And you see them next to each other, they look very, very similar. Next up is Omega by MAC. This is definitely a cooler toned crease color right there. Then we have one of my go-tos. I mean, I wear this all the time. This is called Tiki Hut by Makeup Geek. I just love, love, love that color. Then we have Latte, another go-to for me by Makeup Geek. Very similar to Tiki Hut. These next two are in some of Anastasia's palettes. This is Buon Fresco, but I love it so much I felt like I wanted the single. It's just, to me, the perfect shade when you are doing a crease, for the crease, kind of the transition shade, when you're doing a cool look, and then also Dusty Rose. They're so pigmented and just so beautiful. Staying with that same cool tone look, this is Cupcake by Makeup Geek. It's just such a pretty pink color. This is another one of my go-tos. It is Tan Lines by Makeup Geek. So, so pretty. Sorry, you see it right there. Now I'm going to wash off my arm so we can start over. Okay, we have 1.5 rows left. This first one is Brown Script by MAC. This is just a oldie but a goodie. It's just beautiful. My arm's still a little wet, so it's not swatching great, but that's how it looks. The next one is Cocoa Bear by Makeup Geek, which is very similar to Brown Script. Then we have Swiss Chocolate by MAC, which is right there. All three of these are very, very similar. Then we have Copper Plate by MAC. It is definitely on the cooler tone, but it's still really pretty. Good if you're wanting to create a cooler toned eye look. I think I bought Copper Plate because Pixie Woo's made me do it. Next up, I have Mocha by Makeup Geek, which is definitely a go-to. It's just such a pretty neutral brown shade. These next two have been well loved, I can tell, as eyeliner. This is Embark by MAC. I mean, it's just a stunning shade, a very dark brown. And then you also have by MAC Brune, which is also a dark brown, definitely cooler tone. So you have warmer toned, you have warmer toned and then cooler toned. We have another in the Spotlight because I received this, I think, in a Birchbox or something, or an Ipsy box, I can't remember. We have Corrupt by Makeup Geek. It is just a black shade. Then we have Chickadee by Makeup Geek. It's really, really pretty to warm up that crease. And then lastly, we have Bitten by Makeup Geek, which is a gorgeous shade right there. Right there. So yeah, so that is my Z palette. Like I said, I have a mixture of Anastasia, Makeup Geek, and MAC. I think if I were to run out of shades and purchase replacements, I would definitely go with Anastasia and Makeup Geek. I depotted the MAC ones myself, and that's just too much work. I know you can buy them single, but I actually like the formula of the other two better. So yeah, so if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing. I would love to have you back here on a regular basis. And as always, I hope this video finds you having a fantastic day and a great week, and I will see you all soon. Bye, y'all.